Hey there, welcome into the show. You're watching the San Francisco 49ers Report. My name is Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. Coming up, could and should the San Francisco 49ers trade for Steelers pass rusher TJ Watt, who over the last several years has been one of the most dominant players in all of football? According to a report out of Pittsburgh, TJ Watt is not happy with his current situation with the Steelers. He wants a new contract. Right now, he's pretty severely underpaid with where the pass rusher market is, and he wants a new deal. And right now, him and his agent, the Steelers, they're not on the same page as far as getting a contract done. So TJ Watt took to social media, as players do these days, and these negotiating tactics in this social media viral world, and he posted with no context, no text at all, this photo on his Instagram story, throwing up the deuces. And that has caused a lot of speculation over the last few days. Then there was this tweet from Mark Kaboly, who covers the Steelers for the Pat McAfee Show, a longtime sports writer covering the Steelers out there in Pittsburgh, who said this: after talking to people, I'd keep an eye on this TJ Watt contract situation moving forward a little bit more closely. It doesn't appear that the Instagram picture he posted yesterday was just by chance. I'd imagine an extension is still going to eventually get done, but the price tag just might be a tad bit higher than some anticipated. The Steelers and Steelers fans can thank Myles Garrett for that, because he got $40 million per year from the Cleveland Browns inside that NFC North. And so we flip the page to this, and you think about this from the Niners standpoint. They have gone after a lot of star players in recent memory as this Super Bowl window has been open. They traded for Christian McCaffrey. They traded for Chase Young. They've spent a lot of money in NFL free agency. Even outside of the blockbuster trades, they've traded for Charles Omenihu. They traded for Arden Key. They traded for Jordan Willis. And so they have been aggressive in improving their roster and allocating money towards it, whether it be through the trade market or in free agency. And so from the Niners' standpoint right now, what have they done this offseason? They've eaten a lot of dead cap money. Therefore, they're going to eat that now so that they don't keep pushing it down the road, and they're going to basically inherit a large dead cap charge for 2025, which will then free up money in the future instead of just continuing to push it down the road, which is what the Niners kind of did to maximize being in that Super Bowl window. They've also let a lot of players walk who ended up getting paid some big-time contracts in free agency. The Niners currently have a lot of cap space. But how much of that cap is going to be allocated to a Brock Purdy contract extension? We're not sure, because obviously Purdy hasn't signed that deal yet. What the Niners do have, which they can use at their disposal or in a trade for a player like this, and TJ Watt to Pittsburgh, who's entering the final year of his deal, is you can trade those away in order to haul in one of the best pass rushers in the NFL and a player who's extremely dominant against the run, or the Niners can do what they've said they've wanted to do. Not trade for TJ Watt, bring in an older player who's worth a lot of money, and instead build through the draft. They have 11 picks this year, and a lot of them are in the first four rounds. But this defensive line for the Niners going into 2025 and going into the draft in 2 Thursdays is extremely thin as far as depth goes and talent goes. So a trade for TJ Watt would certainly help there, and just the thought of Watt opposite of Bosa would be a lot of fun. How did the Philadelphia Eagles go out there and dominate the Kansas City Chiefs back in February in New Orleans during Super Bowl 59? A relentless pass rush against Patrick Mahomes, which made him look lost, flustered, and he turned the football over 3 times. 2 interceptions, 1 a pick six. another bad pick, and then a strip sack. So 3 total turnovers for Mahomes because he was under siege all day. And so Bosa and Watt would be interesting because of that thought. Here's the issue, though, and why I don't think the Niners are real players for a player like TJ Watt. He's 30 years old right now, going into the final year of his deal. He is a great player. But in order to make this trade happen, if the Steelers were to deal him, you have to surrender a lot of valuable draft picks, and you have to give him a contract extension. Because the edge rusher market has straight up exploded over the last few years. It really started with Nick Bosa a couple of years ago when he signed that contract with the Niners, which paid him $34 million per season. And when Bosa signed that going into 2023, at that time, he became the highest paid non-quarterback in football. Just this offseason alone, he's been overtaken by the contracts for Max Crosby at $35.5, Danielle Hunter at $35.6, and Myles Garrett at $40. So you look at where TJ Watt is right now. Yeah, he is 30 years old, but he's been a premier player at a premium position. He's truly elite as a pass rusher and against the run. And right now, he's playing for a pretty big bargain for Pittsburgh. Only $28 million per year. He's better than Brian Burns. He's better than Josh Allen. He's put up better numbers than Nick Bosa, Max Crosby, and Danielle Hunter. I don't think he's better than Myles Garrett. But if you're talking about the top pass rushers in the game, TJ Watt is probably top 2 or top 3 based upon production and how good he is as an all-around player. More on this coming up just around the corner, but first, today's show sponsored by our friends at GameTime, the best app in the ticketing marketplace. It's not just an app for sporting events. You can go to concerts, comedy shows, theater events, and a whole lot more. But the point here with GameTime, last-minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed, and the best seats at the lowest price guaranteed. Prices drop as the event gets closer so much where with these last-minute deals, you can save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and a whole lot more. Thanks to GameTime Picks, it makes last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. Zone deals are also cool. You can save even more when you choose a section and you let GameTime choose the seats. The all-in pricing tool, toggle that because it shows you your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. You can go to a Niners game in the fall. You can go to a San Francisco Giants game, one of the best stadiums in all of Major League Baseball. Shoot, the Golden State Warriors going to be playing in the play-in tournament in the NBA playoffs. You can go to the Chase Center in San Francisco. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account. Use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem that code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. With this TJ Watt conversation, the Niners do have a problem that they're going to need to address in the NFL draft because, again, I don't think it's realistic that they trade for TJ Watt. They are so thin along the defensive line, and they need multiple players up front. That said, a player of this caliber is not available often. So if I'm John Lynch, I'm at least making a call to Pittsburgh in a different conference than the NFC to see what a TJ Watt trade would cost. Because one thing is for sure, this Niners defensive line is not good enough. Nick Bosa is still an elite player, and he's still young. I still think that he has some great football ahead of him. But other than him, Jordan Elliott, Evan Anderson, Yetur Gross-Matos make up 3/4 of that starting Niners defensive line for Robert Saleh. That's a bottom 5 starting defensive line in the NFL. Troy Jackson is a top backup. We're not sure if he's ever going to play again with that patellar tendon injury. He hasn't been able to heal. Alex Barrett, another backup on this team. Backing up Yetur Gross-Matos is Sam Okuwanu, who I like him as a backup and depth piece, but you don't want him getting a ton of snaps. And Robert Beal, he hasn't done anything so far in his NFL career. The backup defensive tackles, Kevin Givens and Kalia Davis. And so that's why I'm talking about this TJ Watt trade, because you need players along that defensive line. And TJ Watt is a player. 11.5 sacks last year, 19 the year before that. Injury-shortened season in 2022. In 2021, 22.5 sacks, 39 quarterback hits. Those QB hit numbers, you see them on your screen, they've been consistent. How about the TFL numbers? Because he's so good against the run. He's also perfected the peanut punch, which isn't something you always see from pass rushers like this. He has dip, he has burst, he has physicality, speed, bend off that edge. His Pro Football Focus numbers last year were excellent. An overall PFF grade of 92.2. That was third among 211 edge rushers. His pass rush grade, 90.1, sixth. His run defense grade, first in the NFL at that position, 91.4. What do the Niners need? They need to be better against the run and getting after the quarterback. Pressures, 53, 23rd, and he had 11 sacks. Still, excellent production there. 2 years ago, to round out this show, I think the Niners may have seriously considered or made this trade. In that Super Bowl window, they've been starved in trying to find a good pass rusher opposite of Nick Bosa since they drafted him in 2019. We've seen whiff after whiff after whiff. But right now, I think the Niners are truly resetting. It's not quite a rebuild, but it is a serious reset where they want to cut costs, get younger, build through the draft, with those players then becoming cost-controlled assets. Fun conversation to have, though, here on the show. Let me know what you think of it. Give me a follow on social media. I'm on X. I'm on Instagram at Chase_Senior.